welcome folks, Posman, and I wanted to show you all a way to add Minitrons, and this also extends to Walltrons to WWE 2K15 without replacing any of the Walltrons or Minitrons within the game. I'm going to be going over some Minitrons today. I've got these BIC files that I got from X-Weasel's Minitron pack. I asked him and he said I could unpack these for his video. We've got some Paige-trons here, some Seth Rollins-trons, and we're going to put them into the game without overwriting any of the current Minitrons in that base game. We're going to go over to WWE folder, go into the pack file, EVT, and grab the Superstar folder here. So we're going to grab this EVT SS wall pack, copy this over to our desktop. Now this particular tutorial is more for those that are actually inclined for modding themselves, as I'll get to the point for those that are just installing mods a bit later. We're going to open this up with HXD, and you're going to get to see a bit of data in here. And what we're going to want to change is these numbers here. I'm actually going to go to view bytes per row. I'm going to change that up so you can see these a bit easier now. So I'm going to change this to 500, and then the next one to 501, and so on and so on. I've adapted one fully already, which we'll go to later, but you'll see why we want to do this. I'm just going to do the first 5, 6, or 7 or so we can install the ones that we want. I'm going to save this and close it. So we've got a little bit of a backup file here. We also want to rename this file, and what we want to rename it to, I'm going to go back to that WWE folder, I'm going to go to the first DLC pack EVT, and we're going to rename it to this DLC 10 mini file. So this actually only has 5 Minitrons in there, but the main file has around 65. So by renaming this, we're going to be adding another 60 slots to the game. But now that we've got this has just renamed a couple of the files to different numbers. You know, we haven't replaced them yet, so we have to go into XPacker here. File, open, pack file. And we're going to open up on our desktop that EVT SS Mini DLC 10. Open that up. And we've got these M files, and here are the first ones that I renamed. Those are the ones that we're going to inject into. So I'm going to eject a file. I'm going to go over to my Minitrons folder and pick up Ambrose, inject him in here, inject it successfully. So that first 0500 number is going to be Ambrose now. Now we'll get to installing that into the game in a moment, but I'm going to inject a few more in here and show you this process 1 or 2 more times. So once again, just injecting the file, grabbing the file you want, and injecting it in there should work fine. Going to close out of this and actually grab my Minitron folder, the fully modded one that I've done. Now if you actually go in here, I can show you here that I have actually replaced the first few files with the ones that are already included in the DLC 10. That would be the WCW Stars pack, and also actually let me go back here. It goes all the way to 560, so it goes from 500 to 560, and that's how many slots you have. About 60 slots to make new Minitrons for the game. So now we're going to take this and go back to that EVT folder inside the DLC 10 folder, copy this and paste it in here and replace it with that. So now the game can grab those Minitrons, but it won't know how exactly. It doesn't. You can't go and select it in the menu because the game doesn't know that. So now we're going to have to actually open up the game, and we're going to be using this Minitron cheat table that's up in this corner. So I'm going to open this up here. It's going to have this list of all the superstars that are in the game, along with a few of the community DLC guys. I'll try to update these as much as possible. But we're gonna go over now and attach this to the WWE game. Keep the code list, yes. And press any button, we're gonna go over. Yeah, I know, the servers are suspended. Okay. So now we want to go add Big E Langston. Okay, I'm gonna bring up this little table here. We want to give Big E Langston the New Day. So first off, we're gonna go check what he has already. That's 38400. We're gonna go over to the create an entrance to just see what he has already. So you can see that he has actually the Big E Minitron down there. Now, a lot of mods will replace this since he doesn't really use this anymore. However, this is going to be a bit of a different replacement method that will allow you to keep this if you have someone else that you want to use it with, or it just generally gives more slots to the game. Now I'm going to exit out of this and go over to here where we have this value. I'm going to change this value to 50600. Always make sure that you do the full 5 characters at least, or whatever you named the file. Now if we go, I'm actually going to open up Xpacker once again and open up my fully modded file here. And you'll see that, so it's 040600 would be one of the characters from the DLC. This here would be 050600. You want to make sure to include all of these numbers. You don't need this first 0, the leading 0. Those aren't required, but make sure to include these last 2 here, or you won't get the game to actually recognize it. So we're going to go back to Superstar after we've changed Big E's entrance to include the modded entrance. This is going to be the New Day entrance once again. So up here, we're going to go to Easy Creation, and coming in here, we should see the New Day entrance down here at the bottom, as you can see in the back. Now, if it says ribbon, now you got the ribbon movie. You usually would go and select one, but it's going to say none because the menus don't know that that New Day number is something that can be selected. So it's going to say none, and if you actually like save it, it will sometimes overwrite it. So changing these values is one of the last things you want to do. If you're actually creating a new entrance for someone, you're going to want to create that entrance entirely and then exit out and make the change in the cheat engine table. So I'm actually going to say no and escape here and not make any save any changes. Now let's grab Page here. You can also sort it by the description, and we actually have Prince's page. I added the superstars names, or the modders names, to the modded superstars. So Princeton has it as 103. I've injected it as 502. So I'm going to change that to 50200 and hit OK. And now I can go over and pick up Page. And we can go to Advanced Creation. Should be the same here as it loads up. Okay. And we're going to do a full preview here. As you can kind of see there, you can see Page's Minitron in the background. I can actually open up the Minitron folder here as I showed it earlier. But yes, you can see this is from X-Weasel. All of these in this folder are from X-Weasel. I won't be distributing my edited saves. That's not something I want to do. But this process is for those modders that are adding more Minitrons to the game. Titantrons are very easy to add to the game, but Minitrons have been eluding us for a little while. I found this workaround for us to add more Minitrons to the game, and this also extends to Voltrons, the exact same process, and I'm going to be including a Voltron cheat table as well for my updated entrance editor cheat tables. So I'm going to include the Titantron tables, the Voltron tables, the Minitron tables, and the entrance animation tables. So you're going to have all of those there if you want to change any of them to not normally selectable numbers. Alright, this has been Posum. This has been a interesting little tutorial here on Minitrons, mainly for modders. Hopefully this gets some use as the more use that mod is used this for, the more normal people will be able to use this. So this has been Pawsum, and I thank you for your time.